Hello, it's me, Queen Sensitivity. Welcome to today's pick a card reading. Wisdom from Strom, the Storm Dragon. I want to go ahead and say in advance, it's pretty hot and humid in my room. So if you get hot and humid in your space, wherever you at, know that it's most likely because I have invited the cosmic mother of dragons as well as the storm dragon here. And as you know, dragons, some of them breathe fire, but I also believe that they just have like an internal furnace that's pretty warm and hot. I have been wanting to do this reading for a long time. The storm dragon, who is obviously associated with storms. If you want, you can just think of her as Storm from X-Men, the Halle Berry one, where she is able to control the weather. I don't think Storm would put it as that. The dragon, she would put it as she is the weather. So that's something that you can do. She came to me with this idea and she showed me in my mind that I had already done this reading and I saw how to do it. She also advised me to get a new tarot deck, which is what you've seen in my YouTube shorts and my tarot reels. If you watch those, you should. It's by Stokes. It's called the Gothic Tarot. I was drawn to get this one. I already have the Dragon Tarot. If you would like, you can recommend another Dragon Tarot deck. And if you want, you can donate money to purchase those, because I would love to know more and more about dragons. I also want to say I don't know everything about dragons, and you don't have to either. I think that's one of the things about life, where you don't have to know everything and you will never know everything. There's always going to be more to learn. And the most important thing is to follow your own truth, your own intuition. So that's what I've been doing, you know, especially with magical creatures. You can't, they're individuals. And so it'll be on an individual basis what you need to know or can know about them versus finding out about it online or in a book. Not to discredit those sources, but you know what I mean? Like, everything is specific and personal. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. She told me to do it in this way. And she wants me to mention, make sure you subscribe and leave a comment and order one of my personal readings. I have one that is a voice call, that's a recording or a Zoom call. I have one that is written, called Letters of the Heart. The call one is called Calls of the Heart. And then I have a new one called Sensitivity Kits that you might have heard me speak about in my previous video, in my previous pick a card, pretty sure. And these are all available to you now. I will post the links to each of these in the description box below. I usually don't like to do that because I don't want a whole bunch of random people filling out the form and not, following through with the order. But I'm being guided to do that. So you don't have to DM me this time, even though I would prefer you do. The links will be below for all of the Google forms in order for you to purchase your reading. The sensitivity kit is not a personal reading, but it's very, very close. There are 10 channel messages regarding 2 different questions. What do you need to know right now? And what do you need to know about this connection? You can choose either or you can pick both by filling out 2 forms. But the reason that they're not called personal readings is because the way that I did them, I am able to lower the price. So those are only $22 if you're interested. Further, Storm also wants me to mention that my most recent video is kind of a storytelling video about my personal life. So if you would like to go view that one, it's called Sensitivity Speaks. Yes. Okay. So she wanted me to do the piles this way. This is the way I saw it in my head. 3 piles. Let's pull it down so you can see them. And I saw this in my mind looks like this. This is going to be your 3 piles to select from. I'll have the floating numbers, so don't you worry, for those of you who would like to meditate. Okay. And then those 2, she says yes. I'm going to pick 3 of these dice. This one. And the numbers of those are going to be important. Okay, and she said also these cute little zodiac signs that I got from Michael's, the art store. She says to do these as well. 3 for each. Only 2 came out. This one, 3 for those, and 2 for this one. Okay. So, okay, which way? I'm trying to see. I keep feeling this one. Is that correct? Okay. I feel like I'm gonna pick this pile, but this is group 1, group 2, and group 3. Go ahead and pick your piles, and I'll see you there. Okay. Hey, pile number 1 is gonna be your reading today on Wisdom from Storm. Did I say that in the intro? I don't know if I said Wisdom from Storm, but this is Wisdom from Storm. If you feel called to, make sure you go check out the introduction. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing and commenting, very important. Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram. Storm wants me to be more marketing-like on this video, and she is guiding me. She said the next video I'm gonna have an extended on my pick a piles that will be available for purchase. Yeah, that's what I've been guided to do. That's what I'll do. It'll be a little more work, but yeah, don't forget I have sensitivity kits available for $22. You can find information on those in the description and on my Instagram. With the link is also below for that. Okay. Now for your reading. I keep seeing a deep blue, a deep sea blue. What was it? The other day, I felt called to watch a movie that I usually don't watch. It's called 47 Meters Down. It's the shark movie. I usually don't like to watch movies like that. I used to, but I don't anymore because I don't like how we keep demonizing sharks. And sharks, they take about as long as we do as humans to mature. And so when people kill sharks because of these movies that incentivize all this fear and like kind of hype around sharks, so a lot of people kill them. Well, if you kill them before they're like, I don't know if this is the exact number, but let's just say like 16 or 18, like around the time when you're able to have children, well, those sharks haven't had kids yet. And so when you take away, there's nothing to replace it. It's like if you cut down a tree, you need to be planting 3 more trees. But when you take away 1 tree, you don't plant 3 more, then there's less and less sharks each year. And I feel like something about maturity will be very important for you. Let me go ahead and cut off my fan. The air came on for this group. Oh, and they also want you to see this. This is a yoni ball that I was guided to get out. It reminded me of dragon eggs. Some of you might be pregnant or trying to get pregnant. That might be important. Or your parent, specifically your wombed parent, might have had you at a young age before they reached like complete maturity. And even if they didn't, let's say a young age is like from like the teens until like 19, yeah, the teens, they might have had you later on, like 22, 23, 24. I don't think this is the case, but just for some people, they weren't prepared, or you feel like they weren't prepared. And so the wisdom from Storm Dragon is to revisit this situation. You probably already doing this. This is important. It's going to be a huge topic today, I feel. Maturity. They didn't have the correct finances. They didn't have a stable partner. They weren't emotionally stable themselves. They didn't know anything about healthcare. They didn't know anything about getting a pediatrician and insurance. They didn't know anything about, they didn't have like a consistent form of transportation to go back and forth to the store to get diapers and stuff like that. I feel like there's something about inadequacy, because with sharks coming up in that movie 47 Meters Deep, I watched it was like a second one or something. It's on Netflix right now if you want to go watch it. But basically it was these teenage girls, and they went into an area, I think it's archaeologist, but it's about, they went into an area where professionals are meant to go, people who have had extensive training in deep sea diving and the preservation of historical sites. I believe in this one it was a Mayan site. They only had like, one of the girls only had like a quick crash course where she went with like her boyfriend, and they prematurely put on the equipment and went diving into this ancient civilization area. Like, they didn't have the correct experience. They didn't have the proper experience. And I think one of the girls ended up trying to touch this fish that was blind, and she jumped and she hit a wall, and that wall crashed into one of the statues or monuments that the Mayans supposedly had built during that time. Oh, and forgive me, I had a fish bone. I keep wanting to say chicken bone. I don't eat chicken. I had a fish bone stuck in my throat. I asked my ancestors to get it out, and I haven't had any trouble this morning. So, but it's still like rougher because of the fish bone. Don't worry, I've been drinking plenty of tea, and I have tea here. Jeez Louise. I say geez Louise a lot because I work with kids. But yeah, they didn't know what they were doing, and so they kind of destroyed things that were priceless. And I feel like you might have some sort of frustration with your parent or parents. I feel like you were raised by a single parent, most likely your mother, but it doesn't have to be. And I feel like they might have like not taken pictures of you, or like thrown away the pictures, and you don't have the evidence. They might have like, you didn't have a house to go back to. You lived in an apartment complex, or the house was rented and y'all moved. And so you don't have that space to return to retrieve information. This happens for a lot of low income families, especially in families of color, where there's not a lot of generational wealth. I would say, especially for the Black community, although we're not a monolith, there is this huge problem of not being able to have generational wealth because of racism that is very extensive all over the world. And so you kind of start from like ground zero a lot with a lot of parents. And then especially if they had you at a young age, you know, not having those grandparents to look up to, like stuff like that, you might feel missing. I want to make sure to say that not all Black people have issues with generational wealth. I want to make sure I say that because that's true. It's not all Black people, but it is a problem. I want to make sure I say that. Okay, it's time for me to start. Did I even get those cards? Which ones do you want me to use? Both of those? Which one? All right. Jesus, I don't know which one they want me to use. Which ones? This one, or that one? All right, I keep feeling like both. Maybe just these. I'll do both. Not yet though. Whew, a lot of decisions to make. Okay, so as you saw, if you watched the intro, I have 1/3 of the Gothic deck. You have the number 3, You might be seeing this number not a lot. It's significant. You might have 2 other siblings, so your parent may have 3 children in total. You may have 3 children, or you're born in March, or the 3rd day or the 23rd day, 2003, 1983, 1993, 1973. What else? You might have 3 letters in one of your names. You might be the 3rd child of that group of 3. I'm hearing like the 3rd person in your family to graduate from high school, 3rd person in your family with an associate's degree, something like that. 3rd person in your family to become a doctor. 3 is repeating. 3 is your lucky number, I feel like it follows you everywhere. When I think of the number 3, I think of angel guidance, communication from the angels, Archangel Gabriel. Yeah, I think of that. Like when I see 3, I'm like, okay, the angels are saying, hey, come talk to me. I'm also seeing the number 2 on his jersey. So 23 might be your age. 33 might be your age. You might be in your 30s. You might be 13 watching this. Because I do try to make my videos for all age groups. 13, 23, 33, 43, 53, 33. I think I already said that. Or something significant might have happened when you were 3, or at these ages where there was a 3 in your age, or the year 2013, 2003, 2023. Like significant things might happen on these 3rd years. Okay, that's enough. These zodiac signs that you got are Sagittarius. Hopefully you can see that. And then you have Aries as well. This video is probably going to be lengthy. Just so you know, these don't have to be your zodiac signs. They could just, the atmosphere, the personalities of these zodiac signs could just be very relevant in your life. They might have very significant places in your birth chart. I don't know a lot about birth charts, but just like Aries season and Sagittarius season may be a time when like you gave birth to your child, or you got married, or you got into school, or you finished, you graduated or something significant. Even just a small thing, like that was the time you went on vacation, might have happened during Sagittarius season, Aries season, important for you. Okay, and then now it's on number 1. So 1331. Might be important. Okay, let's try and do this part first. Wisdom from Storm Dragon. All this has been stuff from Storm, but okay, what does pile number 1 need to know from Storm? I'm hearing take it slow. It's gonna be harder, I think, for things to fall out. There you go. Bottom of the deck, you have the Chariot, Le Chariot. I don't know. I took some French classes, and this deck got French on it, so I think I'm cool. I love this one. The bottom of the deck, Chariot energy. I feel like you get underestimated a lot, and I feel like you're smarter than people think you are, because this dragon got his back turned. It's like back turned to the world and blowing out fire against all odds. I feel like you beat the odds a lot. I'm getting Incredibles, the movie. I'm also hearing Doing the Right Thing, the movie with Spike Lee and all those other phenomenal actresses and actors. Do the Right Thing. It's House Party. I'm also seeing that movie, what's it called? Something New with Sanaa Lathan. Was it Nappy Hair? Nappily Ever After on Netflix. You might have the same birthday as Sanaa Lathan or be the same age as her. But it's this feeling of you against the world. I think you work really well independently. You probably had to raise yourself a little bit, maybe even raise your siblings a little bit. Some of you will be the oldest out of that 3. Or there might be 3 girls, 3 boys, that type of ordeal. But I really feel like it's just 3. You had a lot of responsibility, and I feel like you take a lot of pride in that. So there might be Leo, even though Sagittarius is a fire sign, and oh wow, Aries is too. Aries and Sagittarius are 2 of the fire signs, so you're definitely a fire sign somewhere. Sun, rising, or moon. I am a Sagittarius moon, so this could easily relate to me. But yeah, I'm hearing take off. I think you do a good job of like preparing to like launch into your life. You do like a good job, and then you take off. Like, let's say you're studying for nursing school. You do a lot of quiet time, like on a low. You don't tell nobody. You're very consistent. You go to the library every day. You go and do interviews. You go and do your research over and over and over again. You say, no, I'm not gonna go to the party. No, I don't want any drinks. No, I don't want to make it to the event or whatever that is. I'll miss that little thing. I don't want to go on a date yet. Wait. And you do all this studying, and then when it's time for you to go and get into law school or take the test or whatever, law school, nursing school, you like soar, and people are like, oh my God, how did you like learn all that so fast? And you didn't learn it so fast. You were studying over the course of months. I feel is something that you do. You have La Route de la Fortune. Wheel of Fortune. Beautiful. Yeah, a lot of self-reflection. I think right now, that's what I was saying earlier, maturity. You're doing a lot of self-reflection. I feel like you found yourself in a place where, okay, this is a good place to like launch the rest of my life, or something about launching, moving to the next phase of your life. And you want to make sure, like, it's like time for you to go back and reflect. Like, you've done a lot of forward work, moving forward. And now it's time to like, okay, I'm in the space that I always wanted to be in. Now I need to like take this time to look back so that I can continue forward. You have the King of Swords. These beautiful wings. Didn't I say angels? And then you have the Stokes Gothic Tarot card, which isn't a tarot card. I was called and I felt the need to keep this one in the deck, even though it's not a tarot card, because I felt like it's a beautiful card. It's possessiveness, it's ownership, it's owning yourself. I feel like you want to do, I'm hearing Keisha Cole, the artist, the singer. You want to own yourself and know yourself in a way that nobody else does. Knowing yourself is the ultimate power. It's the key to everything, if you ask me. There's nothing like knowing yourself, because if you know yourself, can't nobody come and tell you who you are. They can't be like, oh, you this and that, you so and so. You can be like, no, I'm not. Or they can be like, you know what, you the bomb, you this boss person, you got it going on. You be like, you know what, I do. Like, you can like, it's power, knowing yourself, and that's what this card represents. So that's why I kept it in the deck for those situations. Like now, with this card again, I see this key on the floor. It's like you have the key to your own success by being able to access every part of yourself. You might be trying to go, like I was saying earlier, and get documents. Like, where's my report cards from elementary school? I want to see, maybe you're trying to write a book or something. You're trying to go back and get physical evidence. Go back to your preschool, your babysitter, go meet them, go to your middle school, go to your high school, like your old neighborhood, walk through it, go to the parks you used to go to. Like, you're doing some sort of collecting. You have the key and you're taking advantage of it and using it. And I feel like Strom would be very proud. I'm seeing purple hearts. Purple hearts are something that's given to warriors, which is on this King of Swords. You have the Hanged Man, Le Pendu. I think that's how it's pronounced in French. It's this beautiful card. It reminds me of Ursula from Little Mermaid. But I think this is mostly like Medusa vibes. This one was in reverse, and I feel like I should keep it in reverse. Why does light look so low? Is this up all the way? It's just me? I think one of the messages from Strom is to slow down. I often talk very fast because I get a lot of messages coming in, but they're saying to slow down. I don't have to rush. I woke up extra early today so I can have time to record this. I don't like waking up early. Soon the fatigue will kick in because there's always fatigue. I feel like that's relevant to you. With this Hangman being in reverse, I feel like it needs to be upright. I think the message, like I said, is to slow down, slow your roll. The past is always going to be there. It ain't moving, it ain't going nowhere. So on this quest to revisit and reminisce and find out, maybe some of you are trying to find out who your father is or who your mother is. Maybe you were adopted or given up for adoption at a young age. I don't feel like that's the case for most of you, but there's something like that, trying to find out something, trying to get some evidence. Well, if the evidence ain't there, it ain't gonna be there. If it's there, it's gonna be there. Like, you don't have to, it's not a rush. Storm wants you to enjoy, look at her, look at the sky, what's the temperature, what's the weather doing? And I feel like you should lean more into that to get advice for the next steps you take. Like, let's say if it's pouring down, raining really bad, go into a restaurant or someplace near you, sit down, read a book, notice what's around you. That's something that I did like the other day when I was driving home from work. I was like, I know I drive down this road all the time, but there are plenty of places that I have not visited. Like during those drives that you take repetitiously, or those runs, or those walks, the places that you go a lot, you haven't seen everything. You might think, oh, it's same old, but you haven't. Take time and look and be in that moment, because there are clues and there are messages for you in the now, which is always the only thing that ever exists. And it's very, very important. I feel like there's gonna be some sort of flyer, newspaper, something on paper when it's raining hard and you stop. That'll be significant. Might even be the time on the clock. Pay attention to the weather, lean into it, and let it help you guide your choices that you need to make in the moment. You have two major arcana. Did I say the Knight of Swords? King. I feel like I say Knight a lot, with even though it's the King. Has a lot of armor. Yeah. Don't try to, and even with these wings on this dragon, like covering, and then even Medusa turning people to stone. Don't be, this is wisdom from Storm, so businesslike about something that is incredibly intimate. Like, let's say you're going in the past, and I'm sorry, this is like a sensitive topic for some people. Just exit out of the video or take a moment, you know. If you're looking for information on a parent or somebody that was significant to you when you were younger, like you're trying to find information on them, don't be so businesslike all the time. I understand you have to put on a certain face to go into, I don't know, record offices and ask for things, but you can go and you can cry in your car. You can go and cry in the bathroom for a little bit. You can have those moments, because this is a delicate situation. It's incredibly intimate and personal. Don't be so guarded up. Each of these creatures have wings. I didn't even notice. The person in the mirror in this one has wings, but the person on this side does not have wings. You see? So it's like just trying to gain access to a certain part of yourself. And I feel like that part of yourself in the past was probably more guarded than you are now, because they felt a need for survival, to try to survive, a survival instinct. So respect them for that. Like, if you got rid of something that you wanted to keep, but in a moment of anger and fear, you tossed it out, you wish you could get it back, it's okay. Okay? You have Justice, La Justice. This is a beautiful, beautiful card. I've never seen Justice displayed like this. And I remember when I was looking through this deck, I was like, look at this dragon lizard eye. I think it's a dragon eye on this sword in front of this human face. And so it's like, I feel like it's saying one of your gifts is to see through the BS. You can see. And I feel like because of that, you might have had a lot of disappointments in your life. You weren't able to enjoy being naive, because you could always tell when somebody had good intentions or were trying to be sneaky, or if they had bad intentions. Like, you could tell. And so you never got to live in that illusion of bliss. That's a song by Alicia Keys. You never got to live like in this bubble. And especially like a lot of children who grow up in privilege, even though everybody has their own struggles, Because let's not pretend that if a child is born into money, that their life is just like, oh, peaches and cream, because it's not. But, you know, people who were born into money, they have certain privileges. You don't have to be so on guard, I feel like, in a community where people aren't trying to steal. They're not envious of what you have because they probably have the same thing. They probably have something better. Not to say people can still be envious and jealous in rich communities, but you know what I mean? Versus if you're in an impoverished area, you can't leave stuff out. People will steal it from you because they don't have it. And it's the same thing with, like, I feel like being at schools and in a school system that has a lot of, what's it called, like, disadvantages. You had to, at a young age, be aware and pay attention to the things going on, because people in situations where they feel like they need to survive will do crazy things. I know I would. If I was in a situation where it was like me or somebody else, best believe all these little moral things will be out the window. I'm shooting for me. I'm trying to survive. And so when you in those situations, like, people will do things that they wouldn't do, versus if you grow up with privilege and you have things, then you don't have, you get to live in that bubble of, oh, the world is free for a while, versus if you're growing up and your water getting cut off, you get a reality check real quick, like, oh, we cannot have water. Like, that's something that can happen at a young age. And I feel like that's what this represents for you, like, justice for yourself. You had to make justice for yourself. And this is one of the wise words, because the wind is like cutting up outside. This is one of the wise words from Strom. This is something that you can love, write, and share about yourself, that you have this kind of gangster instinct where you can see through BS. You would be a very good nurse, a very good lawyer, very good judge, because you had to have a keen eye. A keen eye. There's a little bug in here. That happens sometimes, because even though there's a mesh on my window, like a screen, the smaller bugs can get in and it irritates me. But I keep it open because it's good to get this energy out, especially during, like, big readings like this. But Strom is actually being fairly mellow with your pile. Like I said, the air came on during your reading, where before it was pretty humid and stuffy in here. You're clearing things out. You're on the right path. You're doing a good job. Congratulations. Let's call it, yay me, like the London Tintin. Yay me. If you don't know, it's from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Yeah, and even in this one, this person doesn't have on the sleeved armor like this person does. It's like you are fearless when you connect into that true eye, that third eye of yours. You're more fearless because you can see the truth, and you don't have to be on the defensive because you can see the offense of everybody else. Okay? Look at all these major arcana. This one isn't even a tarot deck. A tarot card. King card. This is your first, even the Chariot is major arcana. This is your first minor arcana, which is 10 of Pentacles. Dix de Denier. I think that's what it's called. Dix de Denier. 10 of Pentacles. This is beautiful. I think it's called a pentagram star. I could be wrong, but I love this star. I was reading a book called from the Sisters of Salem series by P.C. Cass. The sisters, not the relatives that I mentioned them in the House of Night books. If you've seen that reading where I mentioned the House of Night books and you're watching this one, that's another sign. But if not, I feel like the House of Night and the Sisters of Salem books are significant. They're by P.C. Cass and Kristen Cass. And Kristen is a name that repeats and repeats again all the time in my life. So it might be significant to you. With this 10 of Pentacles, and I feel like it being in reverse, I feel like this is Strom telling you that you don't think that your wildest, like, craziest dreams are possible. They are. There is something about you where I feel like you have already accomplished a great deal. Like even your childhood self, you knew you wanted this sort of life and you worked your butt off to get to it, but there is more to come. Like I feel like, let's say you're a lawyer, and that's a huge feat for somebody who came from where you came from. Next, you could be the district attorney. You know, next you could be one of the senators of the country. There's a level above being a lawyer, you know, judge, and then there's a level above that. I think judge is above lawyer. I don't know. I think it is. It is. I'm not a lawyer person. Like, don't ask me. But I feel like there's something more, and I feel like I'm hearing treasure hunting. And I don't know if you can hear it. A car alarm just went off. So I feel like there's more, and that's what you're getting with this chariot. Only thing is, from Storm and the cosmic mother of dragons, is to pace yourself, not slow down. Don't listen to people who tell you to slow down. Oh, girl, when are you gonna sit down and settle in? Or even when you do have kids, oh, you should be around your kids more. You should be around your spouse more. And you don't even have to be a woman, but you know, people will say these little things. Don't slow down, pace yourself, and also don't forget that the present moment right now is the most valuable thing in the world. It is the most valuable thing in the world. Because listen, like I was saying, if you let the weather guide you, if it's cold one day, stay inside. Like your instinct is telling you, I don't want to go outside. It's freezing outside. If you stay inside, you might end up seeing something that you wouldn't have seen if you had just gone. And that thing that you see could be life-changing. You could hear somebody give you another technique, or watch a YouTube video about somebody in Ireland who does this thing, or learn about some investment, or learn about somebody to aspire to. You're watching a movie and they show this book on the table. You're like, who's that by? It could be autobiography by somebody, I don't know, I'm hearing Gabrielle Union. You can go read her books that she has, and then you read her books and it makes you feel something, makes you feel different. So don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by that myth of something is always out there to be got. You know, something is right here, right now. The simplest things are the most powerful things in the world, like water, extremely powerful. Take it away, we ain't got nothing. It's very simple, extremely powerful. Water, stuff like that. Don't forget, okay? Now, your message is from the cosmic mother of dragons. She wants me to use both of these decks. I'm just gonna go with it. Huh. I just heard something. Divine masculine. Don't be afraid to keep being weird. I just got a shot in my mind of Chloe Bailey. She's this superstar artist, and she likes to build Legos. And I feel like a lot of people probably think that's nerdy, but it is. So what? That's what she likes to do. And she shares it and she advertises it. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Storm wants me to keep saying that. Leave a comment. Leave a comment. Even if you finish this video now, leave a comment. Cosmic Mother of Dragons. Is this upside down? Yeah, it is. What would you like to say? I'm hearing be gentle with yourself. You may want to listen to this artist called, what's her name? Julia Jacqueline. It's also Julia Stone from Angus and Julia Stone. The name Julia or Julius might be important. You have 8 of Pentacles in reverse. You have 7 of Swords. And you have the world, 21. Don't forget, my next video will be extended. Shoot. I just killed a bug and it's gross, but it's okay. Bugs are protein. I'll wash my hands after this. I don't feel like doing it now. Okay. But yeah, I'm hearing to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. That's a very violent saying. We have a lot of violent sayings here in America. But I feel like that's one of your advice from the Cosmic Mother Dragons. She's saying to be soft. You do need to work a little less hard. I know I was saying earlier, don't slow down, pace yourself. It's not to not have, if she's not saying to like lower your ambition and lower your dreams or expectations, but she is saying that, as I was saying earlier, just like Storm, remember the moment. Please don't be mistaken for how powerful sitting can be. I'm hearing that book Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes, the Titan Shonda Rhimes. Shonda Rhimes. You know what I'm talking about. Grey's Anatomy, the Titan. She wrote a book where she talked about how for a year she said yes to like everything, I think. I don't know, I could have some things wrong, but she gave this example of like, usually she'd be really busy and her child would ask to play, and her child is adopted. I think all of her kids, I think 2 girls or something, are adopted. And I said adoption earlier. She was like, mommy, play with me. And usually she'll be like, no, baby, I gotta go, I'm running late. And she said during this year, she said yes. And she played with her just like 5 minutes or so. And those little interactions changed her life, like changed how she viewed things. So this is something that's important for you to incorporate into your life. Like, I'm gonna take this 5 minutes and I'm just gonna sit. I'm gonna take this 5 minutes and I'm gonna listen to these 2 new songs that just came out. It could be from even a genre that you don't even like in music. I'm gonna take these 2 hours and I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna watch Stranger Things. 2 episodes, 2 hours. Like, just something like that. 7 of Swords, because I feel like with these feathers behind this person and this bird facing away from this person, you're leaving something behind as you, like you're looking for something out there and there's something behind you that is already here and important. For some of you, and I was hearing, I don't think this is related, but for some of you, you're looking for that life partner. This could be romantic, or you could just be looking for like a best friend to support you. This person, if you've been getting signs, if you've been seeing feathers, 2 birds, 2 feathers, 2 birds, this color, if you've been seeing like rain while the sun is out, stuff like that, even if you see it on like a movie or on Instagram or something, rain with the sun out, this is your sign that there's already somebody in your energetic field that is the person that you're looking for. They're already around you, but you can't see them because you're too busy looking out. And listen here, somebody, like I got this message, I remember a while ago, and I was like, there's nobody in my life. I don't like these people. None of these people are good options. And then it turned out that one of them was. And I was like, oh wow, I never would have known. And it's like, it's something like that. That's what I was saying earlier with this 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Like, you won't believe like what is possible. Like, you think you know, but like it's something even more. The wind is going crazy outside. It's something even more. Like, you're like, oh, okay, you know, maybe you've lowered your expectations for a romantic partner to just be tolerable, and then you realize this person who is already in your field is like mind-blowingly connected to you in so many ways throughout your lives, just intertwined. With this World card, I feel like the Mother of Dragons is asking you to travel physically for some of you, but for others, I think for most of you, all of you, her message is to look at what you already have available to you. I say this a lot to people in my life. Everybody in America wants to travel out of America. Everybody else in the whole world is trying to get into America, United States. And I apologize if I sound cocky. I'm not proud of a lot of things that America represents. But, let's face it, the world as a whole, so I don't mind saying that. But it's true. Like, if you go to any major city in countries, like, everybody is so amazed by, like, we got Beyonce, like, come on, like, a lot of people are trying to get to America. There are so many different places in this one country, different places wherever you live that have something to offer to you. You think about the United States of America, where it started with Native Americans. Like, just think about that, like, Native Americans. Like, that is something that is so multifaceted and rich in history and intelligence that a lot of people here, myself included, are not very educated on. I've never been to a reservation. Like, I don't know a lot of details. You have so much at the tip of your fingertips that you aren't taking advantage of. And this is a loving message from the mother of dragons. And I'm seeing with these symbols here, leave a comment if you know what they represent. But what I'm getting here is that there are different symbols that have been reappearing in your life. And when you find out what they mean, you will be mind blown. You'll be like, what? The whole time I had that in my DNA? Yep. Like, could be a birthmark, the shape of a birthmark, the way your eyes are slanted or rounded. Could be a thing in your family and come from somebody, and like these eyes, they represent something like that. Okay. Then you have 10 of arrows, which is 10 of swords. I'm hearing leave the past behind. I know we've been talking about the past a lot, but I feel like when you go and you visit those places, I feel like if you have it already and you're doing it currently, what you'll realize is that your history is not where you've been. It's who you are. It's who you've become. I got just super emotional when I said that. I did a post the other day, and I was saying how a lot of people say they come from the bottom. They started from nothing. I came from nothing. And I'm like, while it could be true, financially, that's not really true. Like, if you knew the truth about your history, you would be amazed. You would be mind blown of where you come from, where your ancestors come from. It is in you. The past is in you, looking you in the mirror. These cheeks that I have, my mouth, my nose, my eyebrows, my hair texture, my skin, the pigmentation of my skin, it's been carefully passed down through divinity. I'm so rich. I'm rich and I'm abundant. The sound of my voice. Somebody had my voice. It's been passed down, the way that I talk, accents of where I came from. Once you see the past and those physical things that you've been trying to reach for, you'll realize the most valuable part of your past is yourself and what you took from it. You have the Power Lodge of the Pipes, which I believe is the Queen of Wands. I don't know if you can hear the birds. This is beautiful. I'm hearing, this bird is competing with me. Be quiet. I'm hearing to protect your seeds. If you have children, pass down the beauty and the light of your heritage. You don't have to block it from them, or even your own inner child. You don't have to block it from them just because there's a lot of pain and suffering. Trust me, past that is a whole bunch of miracles. And you'll have to figure out what that means for you. So leave a comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, donate if you feel called to donate, get a personal reading from me, get a sensitivity kit from me, support me in whatever way you can, leave 2 comments. This has been wisdom from the Storm Dragon and the Cosmic Mother of Dragons. I wish you the best. Peace out. Peace up. A-Town down. All right, bye. Hey, Pal 2. It's going to be a reading on wisdom from the Storm Dragon. Don't know if I said that in an introduction, but if you missed it, hello. This is what this is going to be about. Before we get started, I feel the need to, I'll tell you in a second, I feel the need to go ahead and talk about your energy. I heard seagulls. I recently did a post on my Instagram and I talked about, it's called Messages from Your Beloved. And I said seagulls. I'm not near ocean, but the bird that just made a sound, it sounded like a seagull. And look, I had my light off. So I feel like your energy and maybe your person, whoever's around you, could be your twin, like your DNA twin, or your twin flame, you know, or your child, somebody who's around you, you know, your grandmother. And you have this in common where you're very mellow people, very beach, getting Moana vibes. And I'm hearing you may have some sort of heritage where like your people are from a coastal region. One of them is South Carolina. I personally underestimated South Carolina as being kind of like a southern-ish place with like a lot of coastal community. I know a lot of African people, because I watched the Soul Food Cook-Off on HBO. I know a lot of African people were there, and they invented a whole culinary art with seafood. And I was called to get this egg. It's a yoni ball, but it reminds me of dragon eggs. And I feel that this was something from this coastal region, wherever it may be in the world, that was passed down to you. So you may have a really good palate. Like you may have really great taste bugs where you are taste buds, where you are able to easily tell like what something is, what something needs to be added to it. You may be really good with spices and seasoning things, maybe very good cook. You may be a professional cook. For some reason, I feel like you may not like to cook because your family and your culture cooks a lot, specifically with the sea, the ocean, even lakes and ponds. But I also feel like because your history originates from this coastal town, coastal area, coastal island area, whatever it may be for you, you may have a deep need for freedom, because there's something about having that horizon line end in front of you, like with unimpeded. If you turn around and you look at the land, it's always something on land, some sort of structure, even if it's a tree. But if you're used to looking out at the water, I mean, besides boats, but I feel like wherever you're from or your family originates, there weren't a lot of like big boats, maybe like small handmade boats, especially back in the day. You're used to seeing clear. And I feel like, so because of this, you also might be a person who doesn't like clutter. You may be a cleaning freak. I know a lot of that's passed down, trained into a lot of, especially women, but a lot of people who come from those families who clean a lot, very clean. You probably don't like a lot of stuff on the counter. You like things to be ordered, probably are a labeling sort of person, may like to design things because of that, because you like things to be organized a lot. With this, I feel like this ball, this crystal, I forgot the name of the crystal. You're welcome to tell me. I'm hearing mixed. So whatever your ancestry is, I feel like it's a mixed ethnicity. I don't even know if this is an ethnicity, so excuse me with my terminology, but like example would be Creole people, where they have mixture, they're mixed, something like that. I feel like even like Pacific Islanders, I'm hearing that there's a mixture there, Hawaiians, like different nationalities, people from different countries merging into one. That's something that is integral. So that's a sign. This is your pile. Feel like I know who this pile is gonna be for, because you have the number 4 as well, which could be very significant. I feel like the number 4 has to do with grounding. So you might have earth signs in your chart. You're a very stable person, very dependable. Like I feel like you grew up having to be strong. I feel physically. I do feel like in a lot of, not a lot, but like, you know, in cultures, there's this idea that women have it easy. Oh, go inside and go braid hair, go cook. But like, you know the truth. In order to do those things, even if they are sexist, you have to be strong to carry those big pots of greens from the stove, those big things of seafood, in order to carry those jugs of water, to carry a child. Some people I've seen hold those they baskets on their heads and on their shoulders. You have to be physically strong, and that's represented here with the number 4. And so you might like to be strong. I feel like you know something's off with you if you aren't as strong as you used to be physically. I feel like even into your older, more mature ages, you will be a fairly strong person because of the things that you do. I keep getting London Tipton. She came out, Brenda Song, but the character London Tipton from Sweet Life of Dakota, she came out in the first reading. So she might have some sort of connection to the Storm Dragon. I have to go look into that. I don't know how I could, but I feel like I need to go look up Brenda Song, what she's doing. I know she was with McCaulin. I don't know. She was in that Disney movie, The Dragon Warrior, right? She was in that Disney movie, The Dragon Warrior. That's why she's coming out now. I guess she does have some connection. I know China has a lot of, what's it called, mythology, folklore about the dragon. But I remember in one episode of Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Maddie, who's played by Ashley Tisdale, I think her name is Maddie, like she assumed that London Tipton would be weak because she's rich, she's had everything handed to her, but she was actually really strong, and it's because she went shopping and she had all those bags on her arm all the time, so she was strong. And I remember they did like a workout montage, and she made Maddie, Ashley Tisdale character, like move the clothes on the rack from side to side. And it sounds childish because it is. It was a child TV show. But like to do that, you have to be strong. Like there's something about you where people, like you wouldn't expect you to be strong because you don't go to the gym. You don't go run a mile in the morning. Like you don't do those things, but you do other things that have to do with everyday life that is specific to your culture that makes you strong, okay? Before we get even more started, where my drink at? My drink and my two-step, my drink and my two-step. What's that? How does that song go? And it's on, like I'm on, get the Patron, tell them that it's on. Okay. Ooh. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Strom has given me a download to make my next video have an extended edition available for purchase. So be looking out for that. If you're watching this after I already posted it, go get that extended edition. It's gonna be worth it. You are welcome to purchase any of my personal readings that are open right now. I have calls of the heart, which are phone calls over Zoom or recorded tarot readings, personal readings. I have letters of the heart, which are written personal readings. And then I have sensitivity kits, which are only $22. These aren't necessarily personal readings, but they are pretty close. They are 10 different, 10 different channel messages that I channeled from Spirit and tarot cards, which, you know, Spirit's with tarot cards, in order to give you messages. So those are available for purchase. Right now, all of those links are in the description box. So they're readily available to you. Follow me on Instagram, go like my posts, leave comments, support me in any way you can. And thank you for those who already do in whatever way you can. Please continue. And I don't mind supporting you. If you would like me to be interested in or show me something that you're doing, I'm open to it. I always love to learn. And you can ask anybody who has been friendly with me. I love to support people. Okay? So you have Libra, which is an air sign if I'm not mistaken. You have Gemini, which is an air sign if I'm not mistaken. And you have Leo, which is a fire sign, and I am not mistaken. It's these little dots on my arm. I am not mistaken. You may resonate a lot with Jennifer Lopez. I don't know. I don't think she's mixed, but I feel like there is something there with Jennifer Lopez, because I got I got imagery of her movie Enough, which is one of my favorite movies growing up. I see this 7 here. You might have been born in July, and then 4 here. The reason I say Jennifer Lopez too, because of this Leo, then number 7 with July, she was born on the same day as me, so I have a lot of resonance with her. Even though I have a lot of peeves with her as well, got a lot of issues. But you know, she's a great actress, I say. She had an incredible impact on my youth. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you got Libra and Gemini. I know Libras and Geminis aren't necessarily the favorite zodiac signs, but you know, we all have traits of each within us, I believe. With them being air signs, I feel like you are a bit trepidatious. You don't trust things easily, I would say. I feel like you're very skeptical of things. And I feel like this may also be something that's passed down. I feel like it would be surprising to you, because I feel like there's a part of you that doesn't like the traits, all the traits that were passed down from your parents and their parents. I'm getting that movie, Turning Red, where there's like a lot of puberty. And she's like, oh, Mom, I don't want to be like you. I don't want to be like you, Mom. Like, and like she ends up being exactly like her mother. Because I feel like one of your parents might have like these signs, Libra and Gemini and Leo. And I feel like, what was I going to say? I keep having like so many thoughts. I keep changing my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. This might be something that's passed down. So like, let's say if your family were immigrants to whatever country you live in, right? With that, especially with the United States, like there's a sense that like the true Americans don't trust the immigrants. And so your parents grew up with this mentality of like, it's us against the world. We don't trust those people. We don't let these people come over our houses, or we pretend in front of those people. And I feel like there's a lot of right to do that because of all the pain and trauma that still exists within the United States against immigrants. But I feel like you don't like that all the time because some of it might be racist. Some of it might be having, what's it called? It might be discriminating against different people. But your parents did it out of this need to protect and, and to protect their and their own and to survive in this foreign land. And you may not like that. And you also, as I was saying earlier with this, you may be dating somebody or have dated in the past or married or got into a serious relationship or had a child with somebody who is not from in your culture, from within your race, your ethnicity, your culture. And that is kind of tension with your family as well. Like you let's say you are a Catholic in your family and you married somebody who is a Buddhist or, something like that. Even with religion could be something that you have done. And I feel like it's because of that need for you to be open versus your parents and their parents who were closed and like, don't let anybody in. No. It's reminding me of that movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is one of the best movies of all time. And spoilers, kind of, but her daughter, the daughter of the mother, who is the main character in the movie, she was gay, so she was a lesbian, and her girlfriend was white, I think, but she was definitely not the same race as the mother and the daughter. The girlfriend was a different one, and so it's like that extra tension added on to bringing somebody into your family. So okay, it's been a lot, but it's okay because I have time. I got time today. This is one of those. You might be fairly silly. I'm flipping these cards. What's that money bag, yo? I just looked at my watch. I got time today. I'm crossing the line today. The hate be real, the love be fake. Some of you might be Puerto Rican. Okay. This is 1/3 of the Gothic tarot deck. Wisdom from Strom. Ooh. The first time I was doing this, they was taking a while to come out. It was like, I don't know about that, girl. Doop. You might be a comedian. Okay. Bottom of the deck, you have 3 of Swords. I'm trying to cut it open. An Ace of Wands looks like this. I'll just leave that like this so I can see where it went. Because I don't want to take it out. And the bottom of the deck is 3 of Swords. The Heartbreak card, but it kind of love. This one looks like the feathers could have been equal, but like one side outweighed the other with the 2 on one side, like a split, a break. Yeah, some sort of heartbreak that I feel is integral to you as a person. I feel like you like the feeling of going against tradition. You like the idea of going against what you were supposed to do. So let's say your family really wanted you to take over some business they had. You love the idea of going to college for something completely different. Let's say they wanted you to be a restaurateur and to open up a second location with them. You went to school to be a dentist. Let's say your parents wanted you to be a dentist. You went to school to be a photographer. Like you did something opposite. And it's like you just have this kind of rebellious nature where you feel comfortable being the crack, being the feather that broke the camel's back. Like you like that idea of like going off the course just to be like it was that movie Nemo where his dad was like, you get back here right now, Nemo. You don't touch that rock, Nemo. And Nemo goes, like he touches the thing. Like I feel like that's you, and it's so beautiful. And I feel like you don't know that, but you being like that is exactly you being like your parent. Like, that's how your mom was, that's how your dad was, like that's how one of your parents was. And like you don't know that, like you think you're straying, but like you're doing exactly what they were doing, which is potentially that's like the story, that's how it goes. I feel like Nemo's dad, when he was younger, he would have been carefree like that, but life happened where his whole family was eaten except for Nemo. And so he's no longer, oh, let me go out into the ocean and touch this, touch that. But Nemo doesn't know that. He only knows this version of his dad. I always forget his name, but he only knows this version of his dad. I heard somebody say it, thank you. Where he's like, oh, it's Marlin. He's like, oh, don't go, He doesn't know his dad that's like, oh yeah, sure, laid back. And so he thinks he's going against a pattern, but he's really already traveling this broken off branch. You may really like the book Wild by Cheryl Strayed, because she strayed. She got her last name changed to Strayed. I love it. Okay. Wisdom from the Storm Dragon. Knave of Swords. Valet de Paix. Valet de Paix. Knave of Swords, which I believe is what's it called? The Page of Swords? Or is it the Knight? It's a Knight of Swords, yeah. With this one being in reverse, Knight of Swords. I believe this is the Knight of Swords. But I'm getting also Page of Swords energy. With it being in reverse, I feel like there's something you don't know. And this is the next, like, this is the wisdom that you need to know. You're doing something and you feel like there's something missing, or like it's not turning out the way you wanted it to. And it's because you don't know that you're missing something. So let's say you're trying to do this dish, right? You're trying to make this meal that's very important to where you come from, right? Where your family comes from, because that's very important for this reading. But you don't know that there's like a hidden ingredient that only somebody, like your family, they only know what it is. And you keep trying to make this dish for yourself, but it keeps not tasting right. And I feel like for you, it has something to do with your relationships. This could be any relationship. I feel it might be appearing in all of your relationships, actually, like with the teachers, the professors, with coworkers, with neighbors, your partner, if you have one, your child, your friend, your associate, your doctor. Like they keep repeating the same thing, but in different ways. And I feel like it's because you're not addressing something from your past or from your present. I'm gonna get clarity. You have the Knight of Pentacles. So yeah, this is the Page of Swords. Yeah, Page of Swords. I was right. Chevalier des Deniers. Chevalier des Deniers. Knight of Pentacles. This is a beautiful card. I feel like this card is like, it reminds me of that movie Ghost Riders with Nicolas Cage, is what it reminds me of, where he was like, he was so focused on like becoming this biggest stunt man that he died. Did he die? I'm pretty sure he died. Like, he was so focused, oh, I'm gonna be the biggest stunt man. I'm pretty sure he like strayed from his family. I'm not gonna do what they do. I'm gonna be a daredevil. I'm gonna do stunts. And he did it so much, like he wanted to push the boundaries so bad that he died and like left his girlfriend or whoever in the past. Like he skipped something and he had to go like through this whole phase of like this new life as a half ghost in order to see the truth of like the past. There's There is something like that here having to do with you. You need to maybe go watch that movie, but something needs to be learned from you. You need to be a student and learn something. And I know this probably sounds harsh, especially to your grown people out there, but you're never done learning. As long as you are alive, you're never done learning. And there is something that you don't know, that you're naive about, and you think you know, and you think you know how to do it, but you don't. And you feel like, your parents, my parents are wrong, or something like that. Could even not be your parents, could just be society or something. But I feel for most of you it's your parents, where like you want to go against them, and you've been doing it in this kind of empowered way, or so you thought, but you don't know everything. You don't know the why, you don't know the how. And if you think you know, you don't. I was watching an episode of Bob's Burgers last night, and now I know why. It was in season 12, so the number 12 might be important to you as well. And 11. Basically, Tina, she had to interview an older person in her family in order to do one of her classes for school. And her question was, what moment in your life shaped you the most? And she was going to interview her grandpa, Pop, who is Bob's dad, which is her dad's dad, Tina's dad's dad. And her dad came in. He was like, oh, he's probably going to talk about how a tree fell on him. He's going to say the tree fell on him, almost fell on him and killed him. And Bob didn't know any of the context because his dad had never said anything. So he just assumed it was just this like, oh, this thing that he never talks about, whatever. But then Big Bob, Pop comes in and does the interview with Tina. And he says the reason that I never elaborated on that moment in my life, why it was so defining, that tree almost falling on me, is because your mother was there. And your mother, if she hadn't gotten out to pee, she would have died, because she would have been in that exact spot where the tree fell down. And when I got out and I saw her be okay, that was when I knew I was going to marry her. That's why that moment was so important. It's something like that where you just tossed it to the side. Oh yeah, he says this, he's so quiet, he's so to himself. But the whole time he was just trying to protect Bob, because Bob's mom died. He didn't want to bring it up and make him feel sad. And so that's why there was a lack of communication. I'm not saying that both parties aren't responsible, because both parties are. Bob for not being more open and less assuming, and Big Bob for not being more open and less assuming, because Bob was like, if you would have told me that, I would have been sad, yeah, but I also would have been happy just to talk about my mother. It's something like that where you think oh, this is what happened, but you don't know. You got Two of Swords, which is that kind of indecisiveness, like that, which way should I go? Blindfolded, I don't know what to do. Like it's you're at a crossroads. You're at a crossroads. Again with the purple hearts. I love the purple hearts. Merci très beaucoup pour le violet court. I don't know how do you say purple in French? Violet? Court, le court. The heart. Le violet court. I don't know. It's been a minute. But I feel like purple is important for you as well, which has to do with the crown chakra. So there's like some knowledge that needs to be downloaded for you. Yeah, I feel like if you keep running into the same issue, even with this Gemini and these two eyes, these Roman numerals. I know the Gemini isn't a Roman numeral, I know. But like if you keep running into this same issue where like you keep having the same conversation repeated in different ways with different people, it's your reality trying to show you like a mirror. Like there's something, it's like those movies, the Groundhog Day movie, where they live the same day over and over. It's usually because they're trying to show them something that they missed. So if you keep having the same conversations with different people, the same issue the same thing, words being repeated in different ways. It's that Groundhog Day feeling, trying to show you, hey, there's something you missed. There's something, one of these things is not like the other, like something's going on. Yeah, you have the Page of Cups, again, page. Baby doll, when it comes to another, I promise that you're never gonna another. I promise that you'll never find another like me. Okay, anyway, another page. This one is beautiful. All of them are beautiful. I need to stop that little thing on my screen. It'll be fine. It'll be all right. I think it looks fine. Okay. But another page. You need to be a student. You need to humble yourself. And you need to sit down and forget everything you know. Stop assuming that you know something. Stop putting something in black and white or compartmentalizing something. These are the bad things, the wrong things, the good things, the right things. You have to sit down and let that stuff go, because it's something that you need to learn that requires you be neutral. And then with this being the cups and the blood and these two bats in front, you see? 1, 2. I feel like these are your parents in front of you, still leading the way in your life, even though you don't know it. And the wind's going crazy. Thank you, Storm. When you are unaware of something, it kind of controls you. Versus if you are aware of your subconscious thoughts, your subconscious patterns, then you are in control of it. But because you are avoiding some sort of topic, or maybe not even avoiding, but just not knowing that you're avoiding, that you're missing something, that something is leading you. I love that quote where it's like, if you let the devil ride in the passenger seat, if you let him ride shotgun long enough, he'll be the one that's driving. I love that quote because it's so Southern. I feel like it's probably not even a Southern quote. But I don't even like the idea that the devil is like this separate entity, but it's a cool quote where it's like, if you keep letting something ride with you, just be around, then that thing is driving you. And it has to do with your bloodline. Be a passive participant to your past, of your inner child. Like, you may want to, and this is only if you want to, you may want to sit down and meditate and picture your room when you were little. Picture your home if you don't still stay there, or just picture how it was when you were younger. And look around. What is your parent doing? What is your sibling doing? If you have a pet, what is your pet doing? How does it smell? What did you used to eat? And look around and notice, okay? Page de coupe. All right, 7 of Pentacles, set de denier. Set de denier. French. First off, mind your business. All right, you have 8 of Cups, some more cups. Eight of Cups is the walking away card. So I feel like for some of you, you're trying, or you have walked away from like your family, or just maybe just some of their traditions that you don't agree with. And I feel like this was the healthiest choice for you to make. I feel like you were smart to make this choice, this deviation from patterns. I think I'll just leave it at that. I don't think there's much else to say, because you can go. It was the right choice to make. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. With this 7 of Pentacles, this is the one where it's like the floating things, you have to make a choice. It's like you left it all behind and now you have to make a choice, or you're making a choice to leave it all behind. I feel like this is just a very delicate time for you. Sit de Daniel. Hope I'm pronouncing that the correct way. But I'm feeling like with Ghost Rider, hope that's the name of the movie with Nicolas Cage. Like at the end, it always comes down to like the villain kidnaps the girl and you have to like make a choice to save her, like make a choice between doing this stunt of a lifetime and getting what you always wanted or going to be with a girl. That was even that movie 17 Again. And also in High School Musical, which both have Zac Efron in them. But let's just go with this 17 Again with Zac Efron, where he had the chance to go back and redo his life as a teenager and make that buzzer beater in order to impress the scouts. And then he could have gone to college and been this NBA player. Or he could drop the ball, literally, and go and chase after his girlfriend, because he'll never, like, this is the defining moment, whether he chooses her or if he makes a shot. And that's the same thing I believe that happens in Ghost Rider, where he could have done this stunt. I could be wrong, I haven't seen the movie in so long. He could have done this stunt that he wanted to do that led to him dying. Because there's like death in 17 Again and death in Ghost Riders, where like they died and they had a chance to go back in the past and do something right. But then when they got there, they realized that their younger self actually kind of knew something that they didn't. I don't know. But you know what I mean? And there's this feeling of like, do I choose the love of my life? Or do I choose my career? Or like, do I choose completing this thing that I thought would fulfill me? It's up to you, whatever this situation entails specifically for you. I feel like you could use a personal reading, because I can't tap into exactly what it is, because this is general reading. So it's like, could be hundreds of people that I'm talking to for this pile. So I don't know. It'll be whatever it is for you. But if you would like me to know specifically, I could probably find out if you were to purchase a personal reading. So that's open. There's also, I want to say something with this 8 and 7, 7 and 8. What's that joke? Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Like if there's something to do with fear that's kind of like, it's assumed that 7, 8, 9, like, because it's like, that's how the story goes. 7, 8, 9. You've been telling this joke for years. And like you just go along with it, but you haven't sat to look at it. Something that people say, that's something that's just like, no, that's what happened. But like, there's more to the story than you think, is what I've been trying to say, okay? What I have been saying. Seven, 7, 47. You have 4 and 7, and then 8, 2 4s make 8. Stuff. All right, we're gonna get messages from the goddess of dragons, the mother of dragons, who is very sweet. It's very mothering. If you want, you can meditate with her. I feel like she just does a phenomenal job of like surrounding and love her babies. Very protective. This Ace of Wands that was in the middle of the bottom of the deck energy, it's like, don't forget who you are, you know? Just because you've been taught to like lessen your bite doesn't mean that you can't still bite. Oh, okay? Messages from the cosmic mother of dragons. What was that? I think that song Mind Your Business featuring Lotto is by like Lakeisha something. I don't think I'm gonna take these. I think that's it. Page of Wands. I was just talking about the Ace of Wands. You got Page of Wands with this dragon deck. It looks like a very vacation-y dragon. And then they got this spell book open. It says 1994. When I said that, my lamp clicked to red. You can't see it. It's green. You see? Wow. I said 1994 and it said doop. And I whoop. So that might be when something happened significant to you. If you weren't born then, because I wasn't, it might just be like something happened significant for your parents. 1994. These pyramids in the back, they look like paper airplanes. So it's like messages, like sending paper airplanes with messages in them. Like there's something that happened with the Page of Wands at the beginning or earlier, but I'm hearing at the beginning, even with this full moon here, that is important. More fire. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius with this wands. The wands in this other not draconian, sorry. But that might be important. I think draconians are associated with more like denser negative energy. But I don't like to be afraid of things. So I don't mind mentioning them. I don't know much about them. But since I just said it, that might be something that had a part to play in your life. Okay? Because there's no need for fear. We all have both black and white, negative and positive within us. We all have the devil within us. We all have God in us because everything is just one. And so there's no need to be afraid of yourself. But I do feel the need to... Ooh, and then behind that is King of Wands. Do you see this? These two dragons are both red, but one is redder than the other one. I'm gonna get these out. No. All this Wands energy. Yeah, there's definitely somebody in your family that's fire sign. Like me, I am Leo, sun sign, and then moon sign is Sagittarius. So I'm like fire. And then my rising sign is Scorpio, which is like ice fire. So I'm pretty hot. I do say so myself. You have strength, which is associated with Leo, as you can see at the bottom, Leo. So, and it's next to the King of Wands. Then you have the Three of, what is this? Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Coins. I'll talk about it in a second. Give me a second. The High Priestess with this rainbow river. I don't think I've ever gotten a High Priestess for this deck. It's beautiful. Ace of Swords with a rainbow in the background. And the Devil, which I just mentioned twice. And also that movie, Ghost Riders, there's like mention of the devil in that movie as well. If you don't like to talk about the devil, then don't watch this video. Click out if you don't like it. Okay, hopefully, let me move all these things so you can see all these cards in the camera. Even though you can't see them that well, but you know, something's better than nothing. So we have fire energy, a lot. Where did I move them? Where I move them to? Je ne sais pas. And you have coins, and then you have swords and the High Priestess. What I'm getting from this, from the Cosmic Mother of Dragons, she's kind of revealing what's in the pot. Like, and I said a lot about yin and yang, and even the earth is blue and green, like these two colors, land and water. And this is the group that I was talking about with the Pacific Islanders and South Carolina, like that ocean meets the land, like being on the edge of being both, being biracial, or, you know, having different racial identities. My dog is barking. I'll tell him to be quiet in a minute, but I think it's important. And then this dragon in this one is holding a scroll. and pouring something in a pot. So I feel like there may be something, some sort of thing that one of your ancestors partook in that is still impacting, like it's a generational curse. And like, don't, you know, everybody, I feel like everybody has like generational curses, like they have to break and things that they have to clear. But I feel like for you, this is something that is very much important now and needs your attention. And I feel like now there's another ancestor of yours. I'm feeling like it's a grandfather with these fire energies, because it's all this fire energy. And then over here, it's like something else. Like it's two different stories. So I feel like the grandfather with this fire energy, they were aware of it. Go watch that. It's a Wendy Wu, the Kung Fu Warrior, the Dragon Warrior. Go watch that movie with Brenda Songs, because there's something in there for you if you can watch it. If not, just go watch the trailer on YouTube or something like that. But it's like somebody, there's like two different clashes where somebody was trying to do like the right thing and break the curse, and then there's somebody else who wanted to do the wrong thing and like keep the curse like going and make it happen. And there's like these two conflicting parts. I said that earlier, didn't I, with this, the scales feeling of this Two of Swords, that indecision. And then it's also here with Gemini and Libra, right? But then there's also this Leo energy that wants to burn through and light it up and clear out, okay? And so that's what the Cosmic Dragon Mother wants to show you, that there is a way to break this generational curse, and you can ask for help from one of your grandfathers that is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. Could be all three in their charts. These seasons, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius seasons, may be a very good time to call on this ancestor, or even the moon phases when they're in these zodiac signs. Yeah. It's the universe, I feel, even the Cosmic Mother or Dragon is helping you to clear these things out. Because it looks like in this Devil card, it looks like this dragon is coming down to survey the damage and like see what needs to, the fires that need to be put out. And speaking of, I kept hearing little fires everywhere. There was even a fire episode of Abbott Elementary, if you watch that show on Hulu and HBO, like putting out fires. And I think that's why you would want the fire dragon, which is coming out with this King of Wands and Ace of Wands and Page of Wands. The fire dragon might be your great-grandfather, your grandfather might have been embodying or had a lot of help from the fire dragon. And if you keep saying fires, that's why, to clear out the dragon breath, to clear out all of these little fires. Find fire with purifying fire. Little fires everywhere across your ancestral line. So if you want to know more information, please don't hesitate to get a personal reading from me. Again, the links are in the description below. Please be sure to comment under this video. Please comment, give it a thumbs up, and follow me on Instagram, and donate if you want to. Thank you for your support, and I will see you next time. This has been your reading on Wisdom from the Storm Dragon. Thank you, Storm. All right, bye. Knave of Page of Swords. Bye. Hey, pile number 3. This is going to be your reading today on Wisdom from the Storm Dragon. The sun is coming out. I feel like that is a testament to your life. I'm going to go ahead and get started. before I started recording this, I had to sage my room and clear the air out with the fan because pile number 2 had some dragons come in that I did not anticipate. But it's okay. But after that, when I was standing around getting ready for this reading, I felt insecurities come up, like just little thoughts about, am I good enough? Do I deserve this? And are people really gonna care if I ask or if I say this and that? The wind is blowing hard and the sun is coming out. So for those of you who resonate with this feeling of these little anxious thoughts, these insecurities coming up, please don't be too worried or even disappointed in yourself, because I feel and I know that you as a person, you've done a lot of work on yourself, a lot of healing in order to clear out and to build your confidence and your self-esteem. But sometimes these things just come up, these little nudges of insecurity, and that's okay. The sun is going to come out and, the mood is going to change. It's all right. And none of these things are true. And even if they are true, that doesn't mean that they have to be taken in a negative connotation. It's like, yeah, I do talk too much, but like, you could see it as that. I talk too much and that's a bad thing. Or I talk too much and I'm an excellent communicator. Just changing the narrative around those things. If insecurities are coming up, you can just take it as a sign that they're afraid because they're dying out, they're leaving. And so they might rail up just a little bit and be like, oh, I'm gonna say I'm here because I'm about to go. Like, you just look at it like that, okay? I'm being called to talk about, you have Cancer here, which is very emotional zodiac sign, and Taurus, which I think is a very emotional zodiac sign, even though it's an earth sign. So it's like earth and water. So grounding yourself may be very important at this time, or you might be struggling to be grounded. And then it's Cancer. It looks like a reflection of like the yin and yang, even though it's probably not what it is, but the symbol looks like these two reflections. And so you may be feeling insecure around your different relationships in your life. Like, are people giving me what I'm giving them? Or I wish people would be as willing to speak up as I am, or willing to say things as I am. Like, I wish this person would say, I love you, or I like you, or I like when you do that, or will you come hang out with me, or can I help you with that? Like, you want more communication reflected back to you the way that you give to other people. I'm gonna go cut off the fan now because it's time. Okay, and this card, I'm being told to wait a little bit. So before we get started with that, I want to go ahead and say that in the description below, you can find 3 links to my spiritual services that I offer. One of them is Call of the Heart, which is a phone call like Zoom, or a recorded video of me doing a personal reading for you, which I haven't done the recorded ones yet, so be the first one. I have Letters of the Heart, which are written personal messages. And then I have Sensitivity Kits, which is the latest edition. They are only $22, and these are not quite personal readings, but I guarantee they will feel like it. It comes with 500 worded channel messages, usually a little bit more than 500 words, but around 500 words nevertheless. And it includes a list of zodiac signs and a spiritual playlist with messages for you in those. So yeah, feel free to check those out. If you have, I think I said this in the intro, but if you have any other decks that you would like to see me use, especially dragon decks, you can recommend those in the comments, and you can also donate money so that I could purchase those, and I will shout you out in the video. I'm like, this person came through. So if you'd like that to be you, then, let me know. Please support me any way you can, whether it is by leaving a comment, giving a thumbs up, purchasing one of my personal readings, sharing my links with people, sharing this video with your friends, family, whomever, following me on Instagram, commenting under my reels and things like that. And as I said in pile number 2, you know, I'm open to doing the same with you, and I love to support people. I would love to grow my spiritual community. So yeah, Storm has been asking me to be more vocal about my marketing, because I got to a point where I didn't want to market in my videos. I would just like do little things at the bottom, because I'm like, I don't want my videos to be about people supporting me. I want them to watch my videos. But all of this is free. This is spiritual services for free. And we live in a world where energy exchange is a requirement for our survival. And so I would like to participate in exchanging in any way that is beneficial for both teams, both partners, both participants. The next video I do will have an extended version. Might be about Nefertiti, but it will have an extended version that will be available for purchase. So look out for that. I'm feeling fairly energetic, but I also feel like there's this book called Crush. I might talk a lot. I forgot who it's by. Who is it by? Westbrook, Westfield? Something with a W, something the last name. But there's this book called Crush that was my favorite book, like single book, because I used to read a lot of series. I still do, but it was my favorite, like, on standalone novel when I was younger. And it's basically about, it's so good, okay? It's hard to find this book though, but basically I'm gonna spoil it. It's about this girl who is the main character, this guy who is hot and sexy, and this best friend of the girl who is also a male. And he's kind of like the nerdy best friend type stereotype that you see, archetype in books or whatever. And this girl, she's in class, and I'm pretty sure she's a goody two shoes student pet. I mean, teacher's pet, not student pet. And she's very beautiful as well. And then in comes this new student one day, and he's just so sexy and so charming that he just blows her mind. And he ends up, I think her name is Cam or something like that, Cameron. And he ends up, the guy's name is Hunter, the hot guy. He ends up asking her on a date, and it's like mind blowing how this insanely attractive person like likes her back, and they end up watching Phantom of the Opera, and it's so cute. And then it turns out that the best friend, I think his name is Simon, maybe not, I feel like Simon is like one of those typical best friend names. But it turns out he's like insanely jealous of like Hunter dating Cam or whatever. And like, she just brushes it off. It's like, you know, of course he's jealous. I used to hang out with him. Now I'm hanging out more with Hunter. But then it turns out he's like insanely jealous, and he ends up like being this really bad guy. And spoilers, Hunter ends up being this undercover police officer in training. He's older than her, but like not by like an insane amount. I think she's like 17, 18, and he's like 20, Hunter. And he was there to like arrest the best friend, and it's just amazing. And the reason I mention it is because it's like, I feel like while these insecurities are coming up and you're like, oh, why is this person even interested in me? Or like these little thoughts and stuff, like you're forgetting that like you are amazing too. Like Hunter is, he's feeling Cam. Like he didn't just talk to her like just to get close to her best friend. Cause I don't even think he knew they were best friends initially, but like it's genuinely because he's in love with her. Like first sight, he's like, oh my God, like the same reaction that she has to him is like the same reaction that he has to her. And so I feel like you need to see yourself in a more equal light, which is where this water, emotional, and like dirt, tar, soil, like things coming up. Like it's very emotional, but steady. Like you need to be open to having those little insecurities and fluttering things, but also remember like that you come from really good foundation as well. Your numbers are 7 and 4, which were the same as pile number 2's. I was gonna toss it to see if you got other numbers, but Spirit Storm is saying no. Spirit Storm, same thing. Because I'm channeling Storm through her highest consciousness, which that's what she is, high consciousness dragon, high vibrational, and also the number 17. So I just said 17 was the age of Cam, so that might be your age now, or it could have been an age where you met somebody who reminds you of Hunter, as I just described. Regardless of their gender, they could have been just very attractive to you at the age of 17, and like it made you feel a little insecure because you were like, oh, they're popular and they're cool, da 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 da. So here I have 1/3 of the Gothic tarot deck. This one came out, so I'm gonna include it in, but Spirit is saying to wait. I keep saying spirit instead of storm. So for you, group number 3, I think a lot of times when you channel God, spirit, source, when you channel like the divine, you're channeling the part of God that is the storm dragon. So I think, can you hear that? I don't know what that is. I think it's a car. I think that's true. I think when you channel spirit, when you connect with your higher self, you're channeling that part of God that is storm. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. It should make sense. Okay? They're saying to shuffle first. This teensy tiny deck. Teensy tiny 1/3. Oh my God. I sound like somebody I know. He always make those little voices. All right. What does pile number 3 need to know from Storm? Oh, yeah, it's fine. Storm, what are your messages for pile number 3? All right, bottom of the deck, you have the Tower, la tour. I think that's how you pronounce it in French. This is so beautiful. Look at this. I love how the Tower is a body with this big old spider on the chest. You see that? Is she in a web? I'm gonna say she. It looks like she's in a web. Like this fairy has been caught by the spider, but like she's in love with the spider. What's that? It's like a movie like that where I know it's like, what's it called? 365 Days. What's one of those movies though? Where like, it's Belle and Beauty and the Beast, where like she's trapped in the tower in the castle with the beast, but then she ends up loving him. Like, I don't like the idea of like a woman being kidnapped, but you know, if you just take it from like, this is a story point of view, it's kind of romantic, but I don't condone kidnapping. But it's like, wow. And I feel like there is something to do with love, romance in this reading, and I feel like that's where the Hermit comes in. Even if it's not like a sexual connection, which I definitely think you do have, you know, attraction for this person in that way, it could just be romance or just love. I feel like there was an element where you were kind of stuck with this person. Could be through a job, could be you live next to each other, you live together, you didn't, like your roommate is this person, or your roommate has a best friend that's always over, like something like that, where you're stuck having to see this person a lot, and you find like you kind of fell in love with this person. And it's interesting because I mentioned that book Crush, where like this undercover police officer got stuck in her classroom, Cam's classroom, and they were like forced to be together because of school, because of the same class, because of the same homework, the same neighborhood now, and they had to keep seeing each other. The wind going crazy. This undercover officer had to like go back, you know, to high school and like be stuck in that situation and like fell in love. And I feel like that was a tower moment for you. I'm hearing, notice how my hair is green and this is purple. Thank you for those of you who compliment my hair. It's beautiful. I feel like this is you. You're the fairy person and your person is the spider person. Like if, like I got, did I get bit by a spider? I got bit by like a spider, I think. It was a small thing and it went away very quickly. But I remember it was strange. Like if you've gotten bitten by a small spider recently, I was watching Bob's Burgers last night, season 12. And Louise, there's an episode where Louise has the spider. And I also have things about Bob's Burgers. If you're a Bob's Burger fan, on my community page on YouTube, go check that out. Just go over to the community and you can vote on your favorite Bob's Burger character. But Louise, like, she can't let this spider go. She decides to keep it. Like, at first it was an intruder, but then she keeps the spider in her shoebox. It's like that. Like, it wasn't supposed to be this, but it stayed. And now, like, you love this spider. If you've gotten bitten by a small spider recently, like, that's a sign that this is you. And if this person, your person, I don't know, you may not know because they might not tell you, but if they've been like followed by butterflies or like flying insects like dragonflies, like that's their sign about you. Spiders and butterflies are hidden here. And then there's like a skull on one of these wings. You see? So there's like this element of you two being destined, like death and rebirth, like you keep being reborn. And this morning when I was in my car, the song Style by Taylor Swift came on. It's like, we never go out of style, we never go out of style. It's like you two you have a timelessness to you where you keep being reborn together and living out these lives where you keep being drawn to each other. And every time you're like, who is this person? You get stuck with them and then you fall in love with them over and over and over again. That's beautiful. Wow. I'm happy to be here. That's pretty cool. Like tangled in the web, look up spiritual meaning. I was thinking about that. I was like, I'm sure there are like deep studies about the spider's web, like the web of a spider. Like that's some crazy, incredible stuff. Like a web, I know we just like toss it to the side, like, oh, spiders' webs, because we've lived our whole lives knowing about them. But like, I'm sure there's still so much that the most in-depth researchers don't know about spiders' webs. And I feel like for you, it's kind of become safety with this Hermit card that just had to come out for this group. It's like you're stuck somewhere, but it ended up shining a light on like where you needed to be. Because in the background, it's like this little building. Like you crash landed somewhere, or you got stuck at an airport because your flight got delayed, or your tire got flat, your car broke down in this area, and because it did, like that's you had to stay there for a while. So many romance movies like this, and that's how you met this person. One of my favorite movies is Leap Year. One of my favorite romantic comedies is Leap Year, where Amy Adams' character goes to Ireland Ireland keeps coming up, in order to propose to her fiance, because that's what they do on Leap Year or something in Ireland. And she gets stuck with this hotel bar owner because he's the only taxi there, and he's the only one that owns a hotel to stay at. He's the only one with a car. Like he's the only one that knows. Like she has to be with him, and because she's stuck with him in this hermit, like stuck, turned upside down, out of your comfort zone. That's how they end up falling in love with each other. Okay, that's enough for that. I don't care, in case you haven't noticed, I'm a hopeless romantic. I love to talk about romance. Oh, even though it can be painful. Okay. You got 8 of Swords. Speaking of pain, with the pay. Eight of Swords. This one is kind of beautiful. It's like these feathers are on a stage performing, but like the curtain's drawn. And it's again that feeling of like, you're not supposed to be there. Like when the curtains are drawn, it's either you're there early or you're there late, or you're there at a play or something during intermission when everybody's supposed to be getting up and like using the restroom. It's like in this space where like time is paused. You might feel like that with your person, whoever this person is, like some accidents happen and that's where you are. And with the swords, it's like swords are painful. It's like you didn't want to be there, like you had no choice, or like it was a great inconvenience, but it's like I kind of like it. Is that a song? I kind of like it. I kind of like it, like it. It's that song Halo by Beyonce. All these walls are built, baby, they're tumbling down. They didn't even put up a fight. It didn't even make a sound. Found a way to let you in, but I never even had a doubt. Standing in the light of your halo, I got my angel now. Yeah, it's like that. Like the curtain's drawn, but somehow, like, you know, even something like a movie went off, right? And it was like a movie that nobody really wanted to see. So there were only like 5 people in the movie theater. Maybe it was like a replay of an old movie. And this person just happens to work there or something. And your car like got stolen, hopefully not. Or like your Uber is taking forever to come pick you up. Or your friend was supposed to come pick you up and they didn't. This could be anywhere, like leaving from work and like they are there too, and like because you're stuck there, you have to interact with this person. Like your phone dies and they're the employee at the popcorn stand, and you go and ask them, hey, can I use your phone? Like, how my phone died? And they're like, yeah, sure. And because you use their phone, like they have like a connection with you. Like you have to be connected, like out of necessity for something else. And it's like the thing about romance and destiny is that all these things on the outside, they used to be our goal. But the things on the outside were just fake things that were used in order for this meeting to happen. That's how I like to look at life. Like it's just, all this stuff is just fake on the outside. Like your phone dying is fake. Like your car, your ride not getting there in time is fake. Like if we're going back to the book Crush, oh, her name is Weatherford, who wrote the book. If we're going back to that book Crush, like him having to be a detective, like that is the thing that doesn't really matter. The point was their collision, was them meeting. There's a song called Collide. It's from the Queen and Slim soundtrack. I think that's important. I want to say that because I feel like don't nobody listen to me when I say that. Like, do you understand? Like people get so caught up in like the job, or like I'm going to get engaged. Like I went there to get engaged. Like that's fake. So it was to draw you towards this person so that you could have this soul connection. Because the wind is blowing hard now. The most important thing is the soul, is that frequency of divine love, whether or not it's with another person or not. Your highest frequency as a soul is of love. That's who you are. That's what we all remember and get glimpses of in different times in our lives. That's the truth. That's what's real. Everything else is just stairs to get to that place, to reach that. I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm not glorifying romance in the way that it's kind of glorified now, because as I just said, it doesn't even have to be with another person. It's just your truth. Okay? You have to listen to me because this is my channel. You have no choice. 5 of Pentacles. Whenever I think of the 5, regardless of what suit it's in, I always think of change and kind of like conflict. So I feel like whatever type of connection this is, there was some sort of conflict going on. Just like in every book or movie, there's like the climax part where they break up or they split apart and there's like this sadness, like, don't talk to me. It's very dramatic. So I feel like there's something like that that's present in this connection where you and this person had a fallout, you and this person stopped talking, or they betrayed you, or you betrayed them, or you found out something about them and they found out something about you, something like that. And I feel like it's all part of like this divine holiness, because I again believe this is a pentagram. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one of my students yesterday, she would use these little squares to count during her math section. And she kept making 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 5th always goes in the middle. So, and then it's reflected in these cards. So I feel like that's important. Like, excuse me, regardless of the conflict, you can't help meeting this person in the middle. Like, you can't help storms going crazy. You can't help forgiving and laughing with them. There are some people where, like, when they're fighting, like, it's not even fighting. Like, it doesn't even last long. Like, they don't get overly aggressive. Like, it just ends up melting into, like, haha, like, they end up laughing or they end up kissing. They end up hugging quickly. Like, it can't burn long in that way. Like, it always melts down to softness and forgiveness and love. And what I said about at the core, in the middle, like, you can't help meeting in the middle. That's another sign about this person. If you have a hard time, like, holding a grudge against them, like, you have a hard time hating them, like, you have a hard time just leaving them in the dust and being cold and like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. And then, like, the next second, like, you're like, oh, I love you. It's like in the Notebook. Some people might call this toxic, but I do feel like this is just divine love, like, showing up. Like in the Notebook, when they would be fighting and she'd be like punching him in the face and the chest. I don't condone women hitting men, but she'd be like slapping him and he'd be like, ah, and she'd be like, ah. And then, like, the next second they'd be like wrapped up in each other. I feel like that's something that's a part of this connection with the water and the earth, Taurus and Cancer. Might be other water signs too, but I think those two are pretty important. Now you have the Fool, Lama. This is so beautiful. This little dragon baby hatching. I love babies. I don't like to raise them. I've never raised a child. But I like looking at them. They're cute. This dragon is cute. Oh, little baby, little baby. So that's what I was literally just saying that. And then it's just kind of in reverse. I was just saying, like, there's like this rebirth that happens. Like, you can't help. Like, once the phoenix gets all big and fired up, they just turn to ashes. Like, it hits a certain plateau and it turns to ashes, and then it births again as this little baby phoenix. Like, it just keeps rebirthing. And that's what I was saying earlier about this connection where, like, you never go out of style. Like, if in a past life, like, you betrayed each other, they betrayed you, they went and got with somebody else or something like that, and that was the end. Your lives, you both died, you passed on. In the next life, when you see each other again, it might be a little frustration with the Five of Pentacles, but, like, you end up just getting back entangled. Like, you just can't help it. It just keeps happening again and again, which I think is beautiful. And I think that you help the world, because that's what we're all here to do, is lift and increase the frequency by healing. I think you help the world in this way. Your love with this person, or just your love light in general, the frequency of love that you vibrate with, helps the world remember their immortality, and to remember that none of this really, none of these little details really matter. What matters is the joy, you know, and the fun. And yeah, these things come with it, the heartbreak and the pain, but it's not forever. There's a delicate balance that exists amongst all the creatures. As from Lion King, like it's a balance, it's life. I feel like you, with your vibration of forgiveness, fighting, loving, like it's all together in one thing. There's no good and bad. You're reminding, like you're a good reminder, and your connection is a good example for the world to like be less serious. Don't be so serious. Don't be so heavy hearted. And I do feel like you might have had that in the past, just like in the movie Leap Year. Or Cam, and I'm pretty sure that's not her name, in that book Crush, where she was this goody two-shoes pet teacher, just like Amy Adams's character in Leap Year. She was so serious about weddings and planning, and this means this, and I do these apartments, and I'm very orderly, and I'm very heels and uptight kind of. And this connection took that out, took that out with this Tower card. And now you have learned to be, this person has helped you, whether you know them in the physical or not, they are in your life. Or there's just energy, they are in your life already. They have helped you to be more lighthearted about things. At the beginning of the movie Leap Year, to spoil it again for anybody who hasn't seen it, sorry. You can hear. She has this Louis Vuitton, I always say Louis Vuitton, I grew up saying Louis Vuitton, this Louis Vuitton suitcase. She's like, be very careful, that's a Louis, like be very careful, like not to like downplay Louis Vuitton, because art is powerful, so I don't want to like downplay like it's not important, because it is. But she's like, don't touch my Louis Vuitton, like be careful, Louis Vuitton, like it's a Louis, like be careful how you handle it. And he just throws it like on top of the car, or the back of the car or something. And then at the end of the movie, he's like, oh, I strapped Louis to the roof, like, do you mind? And she's like, oh, throw it in the wash, it'll be grand. She's like, it'll be fine, like, it's fine. It's like she went from being so serious about this suitcase to the end where she's like, she's trusting it'll be fine. And I feel like that's what you and this person have done for each other, is kind of relax and trust, because at the end and at the beginning of all, it's just love. Like Beyonce said, everything is love. That's just it. And so you don't need to worry so much about how we're going to get to the beginning of the end, how we're going to get to this and that. Everything is going to be fine. And that's something that actually comes up in the movie. Okay, next you have the devil. That's that sexual chemistry that I was talking about, which is again with this egg. With this egg coming up, the devil. So I feel like there's a Taylor Swift line. She's like, I'm not a bad girl, but I do bad things with you. It's called So It Goes. It's like, I feel like this person brings something out of you, and you bring something out of this person, where they will participate in fun things that you or they would never participate in. I'm gonna give you just an example. Like, let's say this person like is aromantic, in the sense like, not aromantic, because I feel like that's people who like aren't interested, but at all. Like maybe they weren't interested in romance. Like maybe they didn't really care for like commitment and like going on consecutive dates and stuff like that. But then with you, they end up staying up to like 4 a.m. on the phone. Like they end up doing like romantic things that they didn't want to do. And I feel like that might make this person fairly uncomfortable. Like, why do I like this person so much? I'm not supposed to do this. And then on you, on the other hand, this is just an example, could be switched for, depending on who it is, this devil energy. Like, you could be the kind of person who's like, I'm gonna take my time in relationships. I'm not gonna give this. I'm not going to kiss on the first date. I don't kiss people I just met. I don't give out my number to people. Like, but then this person, like the first day could be like a one night stand. Like the second date, you could like be wanting, like go to this person's like house, like, cause it feels so familiar and comfortable. Like you end up giving this person so much of your time when before you were very tedious about that. Just for different examples, because there's just something about this person that feels so familiar and so safe, where you forget all your rules and they do too. And I feel like you kind of have like opposite rules that are really just the same thing. I think both of you might be kind of commitment phobes, but in different ways. Whereas you might have like made up all these things about like this perfect partner or the perfect time to have a partner. Or they might have been like, there's no such thing. I don't want a perfect partner. Like, but it's both avoiding and wanting to not to let your guard down. And when you two get together, you don't have a choice. And you know what this is reminding me of? Hancock with Will Smith. And was it, his name's Jason something? Forgot his name. From Ozark. But I know Will Smith. It's like, and then with this cross in the background, it's like, holy. There's that song called False God by Taylor Swift. And it's like, even if it's a false God, we'd still worship. Like, even if like we don't work, we will still have to come together because of our magnetism to each other. So even if we say, hey, I don't like the way that we work in this kind of relationship, you would both like cheat on all your friends to hang out with each other. Like you just would come back together. So maybe listen to that song. I'm gonna move on from this energy. Looks like some eyes in the background. Do, 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 do. You have 5 of Cups. What did I say about the number 5? You have 5 twice with 2 major arcanas and the 3 major arcanas, 4 major arcanas with the Fool, the Devil, the Hermit, and the Tower, and then 2 5s and an 8. This connection pushes you. And then with the 2 5s, that's completion. And even this Devil card is the number 15, so that's another 5. It's like 10 is like the number of completion, right? So it's like you constantly are going through these cycles. Could be twin flames, most likely are. These cycles of like, we meet 5, that's a lot of change. Second chapter is a lot of like coming down from that shot of love. And then after that is the 10, so it's complete cycle. And then you start it all over again. Like it's like, and I don't like to like seem like I'm like praising like toxic connections, because I'm not. I want to make sure I'm not. This is divine, and you will know if it's divine because you will know. But I can't help but notice, even with this 5 of Cups and then Pentacles, it's like the grounded with the Pentacles, and then the Cups is the emotional, which I said with this Cancer and Taurus coming up again. So you and your person might have something with your rising signs, where like one rising sign is like a earth sign and the other is a water sign, or even your sun sign or your moon sign could be like earth, water, earth, water, earth, water, or fire, air, fire, air, fire, air, like something like that. Like Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, or Gemini, Libra, what's the other one? Like, is it Aquarius, I think? Like the air signs could be against the fire signs. So the fire stoking the air and the air stoking the fire. And then the water is like moving the earth, and the earth is like moving, pushing the water. Like it's like this opposites thing, but like it's both of you at the same time. And I do feel with this 5 of Cups, with these bats flying around here and stuff, it's like other people will get involved, like not necessarily third parties. I don't know if I like that term, But like, it could be anything. Could be money, could be location, could be friends, could be self-belief, self-doubts that come in and like push this connection to teeter off from that high frequency love and like to go into like the anxiousness, as I was saying before, the anxious thoughts at the beginning, and then it goes back up into like the high, and each time it goes back up higher. And like those lows last for like shorter spurts of time because you have less to clear, stuff like that. Had to go use the restroom. I don't think anything's a coincidence. I think you might have to use the restroom a lot recently. Or like sometimes you need to take, I don't know, like a little moment. I think when you're in public sometimes you might get hit with this person's energy. Like I've experienced things where like out of nowhere, sometimes I just can feel different people like that I know, and I just can feel what they're doing and like how they're feeling. I just get hit with their emotions despite all of my black tourmaline. I feel like I'm gonna do a rune for this group. Yes, no, maybe so, yes. I think Strom told me to use these runes, but I didn't feel called to say that during my first 2 piles. So I think it's just for you. But yeah, you might like get hit by this person's energy. Sometimes I need to like take a break. Like me being an HSP where these things happen to me, I will have to take breaks. Like in the grocery store, when I'm at work, if I'm downstairs with my family, or even at a movie theater, like sometimes I just get hit by these waves and I just need to go and have like a moment. And so you, especially if you just met this person, or even whenever this person is around, even just energetically, you might need these breaks. Okay? I'm feeling to do this one first. So now we're gonna get messages from the Cosmic Dragon Mother. I feel like RuPaul is a legend. He's been such a huge part of my life. I feel like I've underestimated how much RuPaul has influenced my life. Maybe your person's name is Ru, or maybe y'all watched RuPaul's Drag Race together, or Euphoria together. Yeah, Storm wanted all these to be live shuffles today. Messages from the Storm Dragon, please. Sorry, messages from the Cosmic Mother. All right. Bottom of the deck, 2 of Cups. Bow, bow, bow. Didn't I say this is a soul connection that you can't stop loving you? No, I can't stop loving you. That's a cover that Taylor Swift did. What's his name? Colin something. She did a cover for Vivo, for, what's it called? Vivo Live Lounge. She did a cover of that song for Live Lounge. You might want to go watch it. It's like, no, I won't stop loving you. How could I? Oh, my little thing is all smushed up. All right, runes for group 3. Jeez Louise. I'm just gonna go mostly on my intuition. I don't know much about runes. I mostly use these for protection and on-the-go readings. These help really good. Like if you don't have tarot cards and your mind is flustered to the point where you can't channel immediately, runes are good. And they can come with these little things to tell you what they mean and the names. Mine is not so pretty because I think I wasted some on there, like some juice or a soda. So I'm mostly gonna go with my intuition. This one I keep seeing. It's the god Tyr, Tyr, the sun god, pretty sure. It came up in a book I was reading called Salem Sisters by P.C. Cass. I'm not reading the book anymore, but it basically means like victory, like to win, which I heard in that movie Ant-Man Quantum. This one is Algiz, It means success, which again, success, victory. This one, that's not quite it. This one is Konaz, openness and wisdom, knowledge. Sorry, it's taking me a while to go through all these. What's the time? 4 minutes. This one is wealth, Jesus. Fahu or Fabu, wealth. And this one is inactivity. Isa, I believe. Stagnation, reflection. Pretty sure. Okay. There you have your rooms. So I'm just going to do a quick little thing about these. I feel like all of these are saying this is a whirlwind romance, as I like to say. I feel like there's just naturally a lot of abundance and success attracted to this connection because it is so divine and because it helps the collective so much. Like, it's just good for the collective. The more you heal and grow and see yourself in this connection, just lots of success, lots of abundance and fertility, the more you surrender to this connection and not fight against it. Because even with this magic conch, they're both holding it. And it's like both of you need to hear the call and the wisdom from your past, your present, and your future. Like, be open to the wisdom. And with this stagnation, there might be stagnation in this connection right now as you're watching this video. And I feel like you should take this time to reflect, because it's on top of this 5 of Cups, like reflect emotionally, okay? Messages from the Cosmic Dragon and Storm, because I said Storm. Exemplar of Bowls. I believe this is the King of Cups or Queen of Cups. I always forget. But I think it's King of Cups. Healing. I just said that. The Strength card. Here we go. Seeker, the High Priestess. Jesus. You have like so many major arcana. Like, and if it's not a major arcana, it's like a power ball. This one wants to come out. Exemplar of Pipes, so the King of Wands wants to show the face. You have the Fool again right here, in reverse again, because this one was in reverse. I'll talk about that in a second. Let me get through all the cards. You can see that. 5 of Bowls, which is the 5 of Cups. Storm is saying that. Get it along. And then you have the 10 of Cups. Ooh, I don't think I've ever gotten this card in this, like, using this deck. It's so interesting how you can have, I had this deck for months now. And like, you can never get a card. I don't think I've ever gotten this card. If I have, it's been a while. 10 of Cups. Bow. You have 2 5 of Cups. Look how they're different. And remember I was saying how there was interference in this connection. This person is like walking away from this person holding an offering. So one or both of you at different times might have like tried to offer one person like more stable commitment, and the other person was like, I don't want that. Or like, they're like, I'm gonna go away, or somebody like wants to move away and go do something. But I feel like it's okay. I feel like it's just a part of the story. Because after that, it's a 10 of Cups. Like, don't worry so much about everything working out, because you're fated to be like connected. So you don't have to worry so much about, because like I said, the end is the beginning is the end. It'll only just restart. Yeah, the Fool in reverse, call to talk about that. This one is called Seed. So I feel like there is an element of you with the Fool in reverse twice where you've kind of tried to control, and I say you, I mean both of you, control this connection, like steer it in the way you want it to go. And with this kind of divine connection, the best thing is to do is to surrender. Surrender to the love and the magic and all of the things of it, because it'll lead you to where you need to be. The more you try to control it and to put, I don't want to say expectations, because of course expectations, you should have those, because boundaries, you expect people to respect your boundaries. But I feel like there's a need in this connection to be just open. Just try to be as open as possible, like to anything that comes up, because anything that comes up is sent straight from the divine. And you can tell with these King of Cups, the healing, the strength card, the High Priestess card, it's like divine emotionality, divine healing with the strength from ancestors. I feel for a lot of you, you have some sort of child that you had together already in the past life or in the future that is present, and one of your, probably your spirit guides, or like they're just around you all the time. I feel like they can't help it because you're their parents, you and this child, regardless of your gender, or whether or not you can have children. Like, you have a child's energy, and I'm pretty sure some of you probably have been picking up on this. They're around you, and especially when you two are together, you may work with children, you and this person, or one or both of you might already have children. So there's like that energy of childishness, of a child, youthfulness around you. I feel like when you are with this person, if you can be with this person in like physical proximity, you will see a child like somewhere, like in a reflection, or like walking out of a store or something at a park, and like you'll know that that's your child. You could even see them like with your third eye, and like that's your child with this person. To give you spoilers of my favorite book of all time, the Mist and Fury book, I think it was in the third book, Rings and Ruin, to give you spoilers, was by Sarah J. Maas, Maas. Pretty sure. And she went to see the bone carver, like Feyre, the main character, in order to like get advice. And basically the bone carver, he can like tell your future and things like that. And he appears however the seer wants him to appear, or like subconsciously wants him to appear. And Feyre's bone carver appeared as her and her mate's son, which she didn't know, I don't think, at the time, until later on, like, oh, that was my son. You've had some sort of experience where you've seen some child, probably with blue eyes or violet eyes, and that's your child with this person that just loves to be around you, is what I'm getting with this card, with this baby on the shoulder here, and all these animals, like some family is here for you. With the High Priestess, and like I said, reflection. So seeker, I feel like if you want to speed up this icing process of thawing out, or this stalemate process, you might want to meditate or try your best to intentionally dream. Like, set the intention when you go to sleep. I want to heal my connection. I want to be open to seeing any wisdom from my connection. And then 5 of Bowls. I also feel like this is from, with this being from the cosmic mother of the dragons, she has been delivering you keys and codes that you have not been as open to as she would like. I don't think it's because you don't want help, but I think it's because you don't believe that you have it easily. And she's saying, I can help you easily, and I have been trying to show you. I think one of the ways she's been trying to show you is with that child energy being around you. The cosmic mother of dragons, very important for you, I feel. If you would like a personal reading, like a channel messages from the cosmic mother of dragons, just her, I would highly recommend you do that. I can do that for you, because I feel like it's important with all these women in this imagery, because this is the Medicine Woman Tarot. 8 comes out again with the healing, the strength card. 2 comes out again, 2 of Bowls. 5 came out again, Exemplar of Pipes, Queen of Wands, Queen here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major arcana cards, 6 of them, and that's not even including the extra Fool that came out. And then you have two kings, and you have 10, 8, and 5s repeating. So if you're seeing 88, 10, 10, 55 repeating, 2, 2, but I feel like it's mostly 88 and 5, 5 repeating. That is a sign. Maybe look up that number, 88, 55, 85, 85, 58, 58, repeating. Those ages might be important as well, like 58, 85, or like the years might be important for you. But look up the meaning of that angel number. Don't forget 17 as well is important. But I think that's all. Okay, yeah, if you're interested in getting a person reading, do so. The links are below to fill out directly to the Google form. Don't forget to comment. Please leave a comment if you would like to support me. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Invite more people to subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. Comment under my posts on Instagram. I have plenty of community posts I do here on YouTube and plenty tarot shorts. If you'd like to go watch those. And I will miss you and I love you. And thank you for watching this video. I hope it helped, and I'll see you next time. It's a crazy in love. All right, bye.